Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Big development on what's happening on the Vitality Derke situation last night, with rumours emerging that Derke was effectively stuck in contract jail over at Fnatic. Fnatic then denied those rumours, as we'll dive into over the coming minutes, and have apparently over the last 24 hours agreed to the arrangement with Vitality. Derke will be going to that team for next season alongside what could well be an absolutely stacked super team level roster. But who's the IGL going to be? Especially when Derke could have gone, we believe, to NRG, and apparently that was his initial decision to go and join FNS over at the boys in North America. However, he changed his mind. Exactly why? That is an interesting question for you guys to delve on in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new as always. First of all, a massive development on what's going on in the Pacific region, because DRX have apparently parted ways with, well, all of these players. Buzz is apparently gone. Now, we'll get into where he's going to go in a second and some of the rumours about it, because it's a crazy situation actually. Bayon is gone as well. They subbed in and did a pretty good job this season. Foxy9 is like, I'm just very confused what's going on. Like, DRX, yes, they didn't get the result they wanted again at the World Championship, and we thought they might do something to their roster. But the idea of getting rid of maybe your best player, potentially like your best duelist and a player that I really like and rate in Foxy9, and then a great rookie player, like, what's going on? Like, you're going to lose the World Championship and then drop, like, 3 of your better players? I'm just very confused. And they're signing Freeing instead, promoting Leviathan from their academy, which is pretty funny, like, it's obviously similar to Leviathan's actual roster name. And then Hyun Min, who we talked about a while ago, is going to take Buzz's place. So that's apparently going to be your team of 5 on DRX for next year, which is like, yeah, wow. Confusing, to say the very least, if this is true. But of course, then it's, all right, well, where are these guys going? Why is this happening precisely? And of course, it potentially means that of this DRX lineup that changed quite substantially last season, of course, with RB out the door and everything that we saw there, it seems like that there's only one remaining in Mako. But the latest rumor on Buzz is that he's going to reunite with Stax over at T1. And look, it was rumored the other day, T1 even said it, they're going to go full Korean. And this has been rumored for some time now, actually, before it's become public that this was a possibility of Buzz to T1. So anyway, Tanmay says T1 has reached a verbal agreement with DRX player Buzz to sign him to their VCT roster. He's going to be reunited with Stax, who joined T1 back in June 2024. So yeah, a wild timeline if this comes true. The question is it actually going to come true or not? Obviously, Tanmay's talking about it, not necessarily guaranteed because it's not been made official yet. Lembo then kind of quote tweeted and says, well, Tanmay says this is going to be happening. Is that going to, is that going to be possible, right? What's going to be going on there? But Buzz actually responds to this and says in Korean basically the following: rumors can pop up anywhere, so ignore them and wait for any official news. I haven't verbally agreed with any team, red team or otherwise, basically. Spread unverified info and I'll hit you out with a spoon. Have a good night, everyone, he says. So yeah, confirming from Buzz's side, at least if we believe him, which I don't think we have any reason to disbelieve him, that no contract have yet been signed, or he hasn't verbally agreed with any team yet. So it does make things interesting, like when things like this leak, if they're not officially signed yet, which, to be fair, I don't know if until tomorrow, October the 7th, that anyone can officially sign anyway. So, but he says, yeah, he's not signed, but he's also not verbally agreed anywhere. But, he doesn't deny the rumours entirely and say, no, I'm definitely staying on DRX, guys, it's all BS. He does say, well, I've not agreed yet. They, maybe a red team, maybe not a red team, I don't know. So it's interesting, and he says, don't believe any news until it's official. I'll make it clear for you for sure. But I would say that this rumour is more likely than not to go through as it presently stands. And, T1, I think, would potentially pull up a bit of a masterclass if they could actually make this happen. A couple of other things. Ruxic, who is, again, as we might well expect, another Turkish player, right? Like, Turkish players are everywhere right now. They're taking over EMEA, and he is going to be joining, we believe, Na'Vi for the new season alongside Kawalanu, who we believe has been brought on. I think it was Click, maybe, who was meant to join the roster, but they brought on Happy as the new head coach, we believe at least, formerly of M80, into Na'Vi, and he said, look, Kawalanu is the man we got to go get. So that is apparently what they're going to be doing. We know that Xiao is staying around, we believe that Angel is staying around in Na'Vi as well, so they are getting close to finalising their roster. But let's talk about Fnatic, because this has been the big drama. Really, this is what kick-started the off-season when Derke was announced as a restricted free agent, and people were like, wow, what's going on here? And as I said at the time, there was some speculation as, oh, well, they're just kind of exploring offers, and they're probably not actually going to get get rid of him. It's like, no, if they announce someone as an RFA, he will be gone 99% of the time, because they clearly wanted to make a change for whatever reason, and we believe they've made that change. Kajak's coming in of the Apex team that just won the Ascension tournament. So there was a rumor yesterday that basically Fnatic didn't want to sell to Vitality because they were Vitality. They didn't want to let Derke go to a team that was going to be especially competitive, and they were willing to accept the buyout for other teams, but not willing to accept it for Vitality because they didn't want to allow the super team to form. Now, Fnatic say that ain't true. To clarify, we do not stop transfers of players due to competitive reasons, nor do we have different asks depending on the buyer. We just expect the buyout to be met, which most interested teams have been able to do. Can give more insight on this when the off-season is done. So basically what he says is, Vitality have not yet reached our number, other teams have, so we're not going to sell him. But I also think that, you know, they have seemed to try and do right by Derke in the fact that Derke wanted to go to only a couple, maybe, of the teams that actually could afford to get him, right? I mean, what if Bleed Esports come in, no longer existing, rest in peace, but, you know, what if they come in and they say, yeah, we can match the offer, no problem at all. Like, a Fnatic going to sell to them? Well, maybe, but equally, they probably want to do right by Derke and sell him somewhere he actually wants to go, assuming, though, they can meet the number, right? Because, you know, sure, Derke wants to go to X team, but X team can't pay the Y buyout figure, but, you know, Z team can, then they're just going to end up selling him somewhere else, because that just makes sense from a business POV. But yesterday, we saw this from Kojo as well, effectively like, you know, being released from jail. That would be the implication here. So pretty interesting that, like, and I think the whole contract jail idea is always a bit of a, you know, a bit of a joke sometimes, but on this occasion, it seems like he's getting in on it as well and saying, okay, look, Fnatic, we've come to an arrangement and Derke is no longer stuck here. He's now allowed to go, and Derke makes it pretty clear, I'd say, where that's actually going to be. He puts this B GIF out there, and we know that, you know, Vitality, his whole branding is effectively B inspired and related, and of course people are like, oh, B GIF, B's make the buzz sounds, Buzz is joining T1, what's going on there, right? You know, what if B stands for BLG, right, and Billy Gaming Derke's going to become a thing, and Derke says, can't believe nobody guessed that before in the replies. But so it does seem like, and Alejandro then says it yesterday as well, that yeah, Derke to Vitality is now like a done deal. This is borderline locked in, and you know, effectively the contract is signed. Vitality presumably came up to the number required by Fnatic rather than Fnatic lowering it down. But this is what was said by Alejandro here in the article, and this I thought was pretty fascinating actually, certainly the middle paragraph where it says the following: Derke drew immense interest on the buyout market. NRG was among the teams vying for his contract. The American team came quite close to reaching an agreement with Fnatic, and that was described here within the commas, Derke's initial preference. So yeah, apparently that's where Derke at the start of Rostermania wanted to go. He wanted to join NRG with FNS, Som and Ethan. That was seemingly how things are going. We think they're getting Verno in as well, that's the rumour. But Derke changed his mind on that. Now, we don't know if this is even true, why he would have changed his mind. One argument is that he decided that he didn't really like the NRG project after all, and there were too many complicating factors moving over there, or he actually didn't really like the roster they were building, or what's maybe more likely is just that Vitality were then getting less, and all of a sudden Vitality seemed to be putting together a super team level roster, and I'm sure on some level Derke would love to stay in the same region as Fnatic so he can beat them next year, like in region. I'm sure that's one of potentially playing on his mind. So he then changed his mind on Vitality's project, and now those two teams have come to an agreement. So we know that Safe, very good player, is staying on Vitality. We're pretty sure that Les has been signed from Loud, and they've got a new head coach as well. So yeah, if this comes true, it's going to be a big deal, obviously. The debate, though, is really on this Vitality roster that, well, where's the in-game leadership coming from? Where is the leadership in general coming from? You know, people are saying super team with no IGL, and we'll talk about what the roster's actually going to be here in a second. Before that, though, I wanted to share what FNS had to say on a couple of things. The Derke situation, but also the fact that they have a team and a roster that they will announce very shortly indeed.
When is NRG going to announce their roster? We're going to announce the roster around 7th or 8th of October. Is it Mata or Aspas? Serious question. It's Aspas. It was Mata, but then we saw that Aspas it can't go anywhere else, and we grabbed him. Thoughts on Derke, Vitality, Fnatic not agreeing situation? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty for him. I'm not gonna lie. And I think eventually they'll have to cave. And similar to the Ethan Demon 1 situation where they like wanted to go to NRG and EG took forever to sell them, I think it's the exact same thing. Where Vitality eventually will have to cave in and send him to Vitality. Or Fnatic will have to cave and send him to Vitality. Isn't the situation just that they don't want to sell to Vitality because they don't want to play against Derke and EMEA? Isn't that like the biggest thing? It sounds reasonable, but it's pretty... I could understand both parties' point of views, but I have to bias with the player.
So the rumor is and was as follows on NRG: FNS, Som, Ethan, Verno, and then potentially Marder. Like he mentions Marder, he was linked Marder to Lev, maybe no longer. So that could potentially be your team instead of Demon 1. But then again, as he says, right, like Aspas is now available. Could NRG come in there? But, you know, the reality is that probably came too late for that to happen. So it seems like, yeah, Demon 1 is kind of a done deal going to Lev potentially. And then in EMEA, instead of getting Derke into NRG, he's going to end up at EMEA on this Team Vitality roster with what we think is going to be something like Safe, Trex, less Derke, and then maybe Yampi as potentially the IGL, which would be very interesting. So, I mean, look, it's a team stacked with talent. There's no doubt about that. Whether it's a team that can put it together because it's a roster that Derke has seemingly chosen over going to NRG with FNS, Som, Ethan, and Verno, which is a damn nice team on paper. But, you know, that team has potential issues. This team has potential issues. Derke seems to have decided this is the way to go. So that was from, of course, Rocket Bullets' latest spreadsheet update as of last night. But as always, very much interested in your perspective and thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.